Hey, let's bring in right now sports writer for The Nation magazine and edgeofsports.com, Dave Zirin. He is the author of A People's History of Sports in the United States. Dave, thanks for being with us. Pat just said baseball's kind of becoming like wrestling.
Well, a couple of the players look like pro wrestlers. But I'll tell you, this latest Alex Rodriguez story will be in the news for months at this point.
What happened?
I'll tell you something. As A-Rod's paramour Madonna might say, nobody is like a virgin when it comes to steroids at this point. And Alex Rodriguez is not the only person with anabolic egg on his face. I mean, this whole story has the capacity to unravel like a sweater where someone keeps pulling the string. The union had promised the players in 2003 that they were going to keep this list of 104 players who tested positive secret. And the players said, wait a minute, no, it'll go public somehow. But now look what's happened. It's gone public. So the union has serious egg on its face. Right. Bud Selig has serious egg on his face because for years he's been touting Alex Rodriguez as the great white knight who had vanquished the evil Barry Bonds from atop the home run list.
But now there's going to be an asterisk next to his name, too.
It'll be A-R*D, A-Rod.
Does this whole era of baseball from, let's say, 1995 to 2005 have a huge asterisk on it?
It's going to have to, and that's why I think all of these players from McGuire, Bonds, Alex Rodriguez should all be in the Hall of Fame, because one thing about baseball is that you have to judge players relative to their era, and it's just going to have to be looked at
we hear that
as
Roger
the steroid
Clemens,
era.
for instance, has egg on his face, that he may never go to the Hall.
Sure, and I think that's a great hypocrisy. You know, there's an old joke my grandfather used to tell me about the guy who leads the perfect life, goes to heaven, sits down for his first meal very excited, and all he gets is tomato juice and a celery stalk, and he asks God why the meal is so terrible, and God says, well, it just doesn't pay to cook for one. I mean, if you took out if you took out everybody who hadn't led the pure life in the history of baseball, the Hall of Fame would be a lonely place.
These cheaters get into the Hall, but Pete Rose is kept out.
Pete Rose should be in the Hall. It should be about performance on the field. I mean, you have this whole era of Major League Baseball before 1947 where you didn't have African-American players play. You had this whole era in the late 1960s, the dead ball era, where the mound was 3 feet high. I mean,
Bob Gibson just peered down on them like they're children.
1.12 ERA. Yeah. Every era is tainted. That's the one thing Bud Selig has ever said that I agree with.
Okay,
it's a fact.
Carlos.
Hey, Dave, with all these custom-made steroids and drugs, realistically, is there any chance of stopping any of this, even if the 104 players are revealed?
No, there's no chance. I mean, the numbers they're saying in that era in the 2000s might have been 80, 90%. And even with tough testing, you have serious research and technology going towards masking agents. It's just going to get more dangerous, more black market. And I think fans have to ask themselves a question. Do you want to know how the sausages are made? And either we have to be honest and adult about the fact that this is entertainment, or people have to demand a totally different product by just staying home.
It's ugly. Like Buchanan said. It's wrestling.
Wrestling, right.
I'll tell you, some wrestlers would be small looking in a Major League uniform these days.
Yeah.
But let's put owners in front of a grand jury and see what they knew and when they knew it. I think we might get some interesting answers.
You know who's the guy that got out front telling us the truth on this? It seems ironic. Jose Canseco was right. They mocked him, they ridiculed him, and Canseco was right.
What does that tell us about our culture?
I just shuddered.
Great whistleblower.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, Dave.
My pleasure.
Love having you around here. A People's History of the sports in the United States.